Shalom, family. Good to see you all here. Hope you're doing well. Listen, I don't know what's going on, but apparently over in Israel, now the reports are saying Iran hit them with a hypersonic missile and it hit a facility that held missiles for Israel plus their nuclear warheads. It was hit, and it's reports of a massive explosion. And some people are saying they saw a mushroom cloud. It is crazy. So I'm going to really look at that to see if it's definitely something I can come back a little later and talk to everybody about. So I am looking at it, but people are saying this one was loud, it was big, and a bunch of people that captured it are uploading the videos online. So it looks like something definitely happened. So, anyway, y'all, we're going to talk about reparations. We know that America is more than willing to give anybody on this planet reparations. It doesn't matter when the atrocity occurred, they are more than willing to give reparations. But then when it's us, they got every excuse on earth not to do it. Now, we know the natives, the Holocaust victims, the Japanese, they all got reparations. And see, their argument really is weak. Oh, well, you weren't a slave. Well, many of these people that are walking around here were never in a concentration camp, but they're getting reparations. And many of these native Indians aren't laying in some mass grave, but they are still getting reparations. Those massacres did not occur on anybody walking around here today, but you are still giving them reparations. And the same thing with these Japanese people. All of these folks that got that reparations were not the ones that were put in those internment camps. They're the offspring of those folks. So, for you to say somebody wasn't a slave, I mean, you can literally use that argument with anybody you've given reparations to. And as you can see, a few weeks ago, the Democrats were trying to, well, at least one of them was trying to argue that the immigrants should get reparations. And like I said, as long as it's not us, they're more than happy to shell out the money. Now, another thing that I have seen over the last several months are all of a sudden Africans are trying to get a piece of the action. Africans, America don't owe you nothing in reparations. Y'all willingly came over in this land. Nobody dragged an African over here today. Y'all come on your own. So no, you don't voluntarily come in a country and then see there's a chance reparations are going to be given, and then you want to tell us that Africans should get it too. No, you shouldn't get nothing. The only thing you need to do is pack up and go back home. But reparations are not owed to a single African by the US. And I believe Donald Trump told y'all that. He said America don't owe Africa no reparations. And this is the one time I can say I agree with Donald Trump. That's why y'all were trying to come up with that sixth region and all that nonsense you came up with. No, you're not entitled to anything. So, y'all, let's get into it because our people are still speaking on this, and this topic ain't going to go away. It's not. This is not. This is an injustice that has never been resolved. But it's amazing how America want to shell out for everybody except for us. And y'all, they're going to do this with Iran. You watch. America's going to send tons of money over to Iran for tearing up their land. And I'm not saying they shouldn't get anything. It was wrong for Israel and the United States to attack them. But damn, how many more people are you going to push ahead of us? You need to pay. And you don't want to wait around for the Most High to step in, because once he step in, you're going to lose virtually everything. And everything is going to be handed to us. So we can do this the nice way, or we can do it the rough way. Like Tina Turner says, we can do this the rough way. And I guess y'all want the rough way, and you ain't going to like it. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
To tell me slave owners got reparations when they had to free their slaves because they abolished slavery? You mean to tell me that they got reparations for losing their slaves, but the slaves ain't get jack shit to this day?
Every other race and ethnicity has already got reparations except for Black Americans. Look it up. Every other race has already gotten reparations in some way, shape, or form except for Black Americans. So I don't know why y'all in my comments talk about we deserve reparations. Y'all already got that. Black Americans didn't get anything. We didn't get anything. Then y'all want to sit here talk about we're not going to pay for that, okay? But we're paying billions of dollars to Israel right now. But you're telling me Black Americans can't get reparations? We've been paying billions of dollars to Israel since when? So why the hell can Black Americans not get reparation for what the hell our ancestors have been through? We did free labor. They did free labor. And then what? They had to go through Jim Crow. And then what? They had to be terrorized by the KKK. And then what? They had to have drugs pumped into their communities. But no, we can give billions of it to Israel.
Well, I just heard the natives get paid like every month or every 3 months or something. When the niggas, the African Americans of America, don't get paid? What you mean? Why we ain't getting no money? We'll be good. We would have been good. We wouldn't be robbing or gangbang or nothing. We'll have our money. We'll be good. That's crazy. That's crazy. Why we don't get no money like the natives? Why the African Americans don't get no money like the natives? Why not? And I mean the ones that was born here. Why we don't get nothing? We don't deserve nothing? Ain't nothing happened? Ain't nothing happened to us? We don't deserve nothing? Nothing? Drop a like, drop a comment, drop a follow. Follow. And let me know what y'all know or think. That's what the hell going on. Natives get money, but we don't get money? And I think I'm half and half. I don't even know. Whatever, man. Boom.
Now, if Black folks want reparations in this system, they better listen to what this Asian woman just said.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Erin Kimura. I'm a fifth generation Chinese and Japanese American and a fifth generation San Franciscan. I'm here today to fully support Black reparations because this is the bare ass minimum, period. The bare ass minimum. History is enough of a reason. The dehumanization that we've seen is enough of a reason for why we need redress and reparations now. This is not an impossible reality, right?
Now, before we get into this next part, I want you to pay very close attention to the words she used to identify themselves.
We've seen this with the Japanese Americans in the late 1980s. They received on a federal level reparations We've seen this with the Japanese Americans. You received on the federal level reparations. And the fact that Black folks and our Black community and our brothers and sisters are still waiting for a formal apology.
Now, if you pay close attention, she just told you the whole game. Now, when she first got to the podium, she said, I was a Japanese and Chinese American.
I'm a 5th generation Chinese and Japanese American and a 5th generation San Franciscan.
First of all, those are nations, right? And then when she was talking about reparations, he said Japan, the Japanese got reparations in the 80s, right? And then turned around and said, well, it's time that the Blacks should get theirs too. Well, my thing is, when everybody else talks about their countrymen, why is it that they get a nation? Why is it that they get a flag? But when you want to refer to me and my people, you just call us adjectives. You just call us the Blackadonians till we actually wake the hell up and understand that we have come from a nation of people and we got treaties, we got contracts and everything that backs us, but only when we go back to our treaties. You know who else got paid out? A lot of Native Americans on behalf of our American Indian heritage that we no longer wanted to claim. It's time to wake up, family. Daddy's home.
Reparations is for Black Americans only. If you're from Africa, you are not eligible. You're from the Congo, you need to go talk to the folks in the Congo. You're from Zimbabwe, you got to holler at them folks. It's for Black American people only. I can trace my lineage on both sides back to the Delta in Mississippi. This is something that my ancestors fought for.
You want to know the real reason why they won't give Black people reparations? But why they never gave Black people reparation, even though it was promised that they were going to give them reparation? Here's this lady who did a video, and she did some research, and she found that the Jews from the Holocaust still get reparation till this day. It passes down from one family to another for the rest of that lineage lives. She also says certain Native tribes here in the United States get reparation. Not any tribes that Black people were in. I'm talking about like the Asian natives that descended from Asia. Certain tribes get reparation. And she mentioned a few other race of people. Also, remember in 2021 when Biden was thinking about giving reparations to what our current president did to Mexicans or foreigners with ICE during that time. Remember that? Did they ever get the reparation? I don't know. She has done her research and she is putting together a petition to go up against the U.S. to get Black people in the U.S. reparations that we deserve. Okay. Slavery was one of the most heinous crimes in the world. And for it to be the worst and we are the only ones that don't get reparation, it doesn't make sense. She put a website together. If you're interested in being part of the class action, you can go to her website and you can sign up on the list. She said that based on her calculations, one Black person, a descendant from slavery, should get at least $3.3 billion in reparation. That's one person. That's how much is owed. They promised us reparations. They just never came through. So you want to know the reason why I think they're not giving us reparations? Because they know that money is power. And they know that if they put that type of money in our hands, it gives us power to rise. It gives us power to start building our own empires, start building our own cities. And they don't want that. They want Black people to stay up under them. But keep in mind, if they really wanted to get rid of Black people in the U.S., they would have done it a long time ago. It would have been nothing for them to just go house to house and unalive every last Black person they see. They had the power to do it. Look at all the heinous crimes that they had got away with by lynching Black people, or just all of the crimes that even police brutality has got away with. So if they wanted to get rid of Black people, they can. The reason they don't is because they need us. They realize the strength of Black people. They realize the makeup of Black people, their abilities, their capabilities. They know that if they remove Black people completely, this economy will collapse. You can even, just to give an example, the NFL. Imagine if they remove every last Black person out of the NFL. What would happen to it? What about the NBA? So they know that they need us, but they want us to stay up under them, because they know if they put that kind of money in a Black man's hand, not all, because some of them will do foolish things with it, but there's some Black people out there that will take that money and build empires. And that gives Black people power to take back over this world that they used to run. And they know that they do not ever, there's a reason why they won't give Black people reparation. And you and I both know, come on now, they can't put that kind of money back in the original people's hand that used to run this world, because then it gives Black people power to take this world back over. Especially with the U.S. being the most powerful country in this world. Imagine, we the most powerful country in this world, and you put reparations in U.S. Black Americans' hand. They're not going to do that. Let's go over some things. This is how you know what I'm talking about is true. Every time when Black people tried to go on their own and build their own city, white people came in and destroyed it. They didn't use white people's money. They built their own empires with their own money. They had their own doctors, not their own hospitals, their own banks, their own schools. They were educating their own children. White people came in and destroyed it. Remember Tulsa, Oklahoma, June 1st, 1921. They used to call that Black Wall Street. White people came in and destroyed the whole city, destroyed all the businesses, killed so many Black people. I don't even know the number of the Black people that were unalive during that time. And what about what happened May 13th, 1985, when the Philadelphia police bombed a row of houses of Black liberation group that has come together to build up the Black community? They went in and bombed 61 homes and killed 11 people. Oh, there's more. In Durham, North Carolina, 120 Black-owned businesses were destroyed. Richmond, Virginia, hundreds of historic Black homes were destroyed. What about Rosewood in 1923? And what happened in 1917 in St. Louis? Every time when Black people had came together and started building something together, white people came in and destroyed it. But they don't want to destroy you because they need you. They just want you to stay up under them. Why? Come on. Just like I said, they don't want to relinquish that power back over. We are in the most powerful country in the world, right?
When white people in the United States balk at the idea of paying reparations to Black Americans who descended from slaves, they disagree with the Bible. Reparations are a form of compensation or restitution made to those who have suffered injustice, particularly those in cases of racial inequality, discrimination, and slavery. The idea of paying reparations to Black Americans is not a new one. It has been a topic of discussion for decades, if not centuries. However, it has gained renewed attention and support in recent years following the resurgence of the Black Lives Matter movement and the growing recognition of systemic racism in American society. As a Christian, I believe that reparations are not only a matter of justice and equity, but also a reflection of God's character and values. In the Bible, we see numerous examples of God's concern for the oppressed, the marginalized, and the downtrodden. From the Israelites' liberation from slavery in Egypt to the ministry of Jesus among the poor and the outcast, we see a consistent theme of God's love for those who are on the margins of society. One of the key biblical principles that underlie the idea of reparations is the concept of restitution. In the book of Leviticus, we see God commanding the Israelites to make restitution to those whom they have wronged. Leviticus 6:1-5 says, if anyone sins and commits a breach of faith against the Lord by deceiving his neighbor in a matter of deposit or security or through robbery, or if he has oppressed his neighbor or has found something lost and lied about it, swearing falsely in any of all the things that people do and sin thereby, if he has sinned and has realized his guilt and will restore what he took by robbery when he got it by oppression or deposit that was committed to him, or the lost thing that he found, or anything about which he has sworn falsely, he shall restore in full and shall add a fifth to it, and give it to him to whom it belongs on the day that he realizes his guilt. This passage emphasizes the importance of making restitution to those who have been wronged, and not just restoring what was taken, but adding to it as a form of compensation. This principle of restitution can be applied to the issue of reparations to Black Americans who have suffered centuries of enslavement, discrimination, and systemic oppression. Another biblical principle that supports the idea of reparations is the concept of Jubilee. In Leviticus 25, God commands the Israelites to observe a Jubilee every 50th year, during which all debts are forgiven, all slaves to be set free, and all property to be returned to its original owners. This was a radical idea of economic justice designed to prevent the accumulation of wealth and power in the hands of a few, and to ensure that all members of society had equal access to resources and opportunities. The idea of Jubilee can be seen as a model for reparations in that it seeks to address the root causes of inequality and oppression rather than just treating the symptoms. By forgiving debts, freeing slaves, and returning property, Jubilee seeks to create a more just and equitable society, one in which everyone has the opportunity to flourish. As a Christian, I believe paying reparations to Black Americans is only a matter of justice and equity, but also it is a reflection of God's values and character. Through the biblical principles of restitution and Jubilee, we see a model for how we can address the historical and systemic injustices that have plagued our society for far too long. While the issue of reparations is complex and contentious, I believe that as Christians, we have a responsibility to seek justice.
Reparation is not based on race. It's based on status. A Black person who comes here from Nigeria or Jamaica or Brazil, they're not owed a penny from America. They chose to come here. We are talking about the people who are freedmen, the descendants of people emancipated by this country. We still know those people because you are one of those people. I am one of those people. A lot of those people here in the audience, I just told you I could break down my genealogy. My dear Nana was 101 when she died. My great-grandfather just died 3 weeks ago. He was 100. He remembers fighting alongside white veterans in World War II. He remembers coming back and seeing his white veterans get homes and lands and pensions and the door being slammed in his face. And we are going to say that America that says liberty and justice for all, that's okay. Get over it. Keep it moving. While we have to hear never forget for everyone else's tragedy. And as far as from where reparations will come, reparations is not, I need people to stop thinking it's going to come from their tax dollars. Look at all the trillions that America spends right now. We talk about inflation, the invisible tax. We have something called the PPP loans. Do we remember the PPP loans? America spent $6 trillion on PPP loans. You know what they just did? They canceled all of it. And we didn't even know. America gave the corporations, the banks alone, $29 trillion. You know what they did with that? They canceled all of it. So let's stop acting as if America is as hamstrung by debt as they want to pretend. Because when America wants to pay for something, they find a way to do it. And truth be told, the corporations, again, aren't hurting. The defense manufacturers aren't hurting. It's only Americans who are hurting. And that is a choice. We all know it's a choice. That's why we're running for office, because we know this country can do better. So I refuse to accept that this country can't do right by a people they've wronged for centuries. And I refuse to accept that any justice-minded person thinks that's the right thing to do. I need people.
Okay, I know y'all recognize Marcel Dixon at the end. So, y'all, there are people that are never going to give up on this fight. They know we are entitled to reparations and they want it. And these videos, they pop up all the time. Our people know what's going on, and we know when they're shuffling all this money around. And remember, we did a lot of complaining when Joe Biden was shuffling all that money over there to Ukraine. And oh, and by the way, Zelensky bought a $79 million farm here in the US. $79 million farm. He just bought it not long ago. And you know that was with all the money Ukraine was sent. Come on. That man is living large. Okay? He's living large. And no, Ukraine never should have gotten all that money. And one thing about Donald Trump, he cut that mess off. But Joe Biden act like we had a bottomless pit. And trust me, y'all, the country was insolvent then. But they didn't care. They kept printing the money and shuffling over to Ukraine. So anytime you can do that, I don't care how insolvent the US is. I want my shit. Okay, I don't care how insolvent you are. And I don't care how broke you white people keep saying over and over America is. I really don't care. We deserve reparations. I don't want to hear your broke talk. I don't want to hear, oh, we don't have it. Oh, we can't give. How we going to find everybody? Yeah, did you find all the white slave owners? Then you can find all of us. Okay, if you found all of them, you can find all of us. So all of your excuses are not acceptable. Pay up because it's due. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. I'm going to look into that massive explosion over there in Israel. And if I'm able to really get good information on it, we'll come back a little later. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your support. And have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon. Shalom, family.